to create this video to sort of reflect on my experience writing and teaching my lesson on coordinate adjectives and comma placement. When I first began planning for this lesson, one of my biggest struggles was balancing the two objectives. Students needed to identify adjectives in a text and also apply the grammar rule for commas between coordinate adjectives. At first, I did feel a little bit overwhelmed trying to make both parts sort of flow together naturally rather than it feeling like two separate lessons. Another challenge I faced was differentiation. I really wanted to make sure that my struggling students had enough support while still offering enough extension opportunities for my students who were ready to push further. This did require some careful planning, like providing an adjective list for remediation or giving my students writing prompts for extension. Moving forward, I know I want to grow in how I combine objectives. I'd also like to become more stronger in planning activities that will really keep all my students equally engaged and challenged. Sometimes I lean more towards supporting my struggling students, and I need to make sure that my advanced students are also being pushed enough. Even though I did face challenges, I also recognized my strengths in my lesson planning. First, I think that one of my strengths was using data from the pre-assessment to guide my instruction. The results showed me that most of my students understood adjectives in context, but many of them struggled with comma placement. This data helped me focus my lesson so that I wasn't just teaching blindly, but I was responding to actual student needs. Another strength that I noticed was using my use of active engagement strategies. Incorporating the novel Hatchet for a close reading allowed students to connect with something that they were familiar with, and activities like highlighting adjectives, partner discussions, and using the images for writing kept the lesson more interactive. What inspired me to write this particular lesson was noticing how often students' writing loses clarity when commas are missing or even misused. And I wanted to design a lesson that made grammar feel purposeful. I wanted to show them how commas help writing flow and how descriptive adjectives sort of bring a text to life. Connecting the lesson to a novel that they were already familiar with helped me make the objectives more meaningful. Writing this lesson plan has definitely, I think, helped me prepare for student teaching in my future classroom. It showed me how important it is to let assessment drive instruction, and it gave me practice sort of balancing multiple objectives in one lesson. I also realized the importance of building differentiation from the very beginning rather than as an afterthought. And most importantly, I think writing this lesson reminded me that teaching grammar does not always have to be boring. It can actually be really engaging and enjoyable for students. Overall, I think the process of creating and teaching this lesson gave me both confidence and it showed me some areas to improve. I feel more prepared now to design lessons that connect skills across reading and writing while also meeting students where they are. And I think that is all. So I thank you so much for listening to my reflection.